At the Benghazi hearings, Hillary Clinton famously said, "At this point, what does it matter?" Well, with ongoing questions about her emails, her server, her pay-for-play access, people are asking the question again, does it matter? Do voters care? Well, the latest revelation from the Associated Press may make them care, because it shows that Hillary Clinton, well, more than half of her visitors, according to the AP analysis, were also donors to the Clinton Foundation. That's right, more than half the visitors to Hillary Clinton's State Department to see her when she was in charge were Clinton Foundation donors. Is this evidence of pay for play? The Clinton Foundation says no, these were just nice people that also happened to donate and were global activists. Ray Hurd joins me now. Ray, of course, long-time career in the media, including time down covering Washington through the 60s and 70s. What do you make of this, Ray?
Well, the first thing I want to say, I covered Watergate for nearly a year, and the revelations about Hillary and the foundation, the Clinton Foundation's duplicity, far outweigh Nixon at Watergate. Hillary has emerged as the Nixon of the 21st century. It's almost that simple. And more importantly, perhaps, Brian, as you stressed in your intro, this is the Associated Press. That is the mainstream, largely until now, pro-Hillary media. The Washington Post, even the New York Times, which, like the Clinton News Network, CNN, has been forced to focus on how people, including the Crown Prince of Bahrain, who donated millions of dollars to the foundation, were able to get access to the Secretary of State by donating money. That's much worse than Watergate.
It does raise questions about whether there was the line. President Barack Obama, of course, in 2008, 2009, as he's coming into office, says to Hillary Clinton, "We'll make you Secretary of State, but there's got to be a wall between you and your family foundation. You've got to show that you're not doing exactly what she's now accused of." And it doesn't look like that wall, that separation, ever took place. And while this may have started as an idea being floated in conservative media outlets, this is now AP, this is now the Washington Post, and it's not innuendo, there's evidence there. When they try and spin and say, well, these are just global activists, these are well-intentioned people that would have been meeting with the Secretary of State even if they weren't donors, when the Clinton campaign comes out and says things like this, does that have a shred of credibility in your eyes?
No, because polls show that while Hillary is apparently a little bit ahead of Trump now, her weakest point is her credibility. Most Americans, the vast majority, do not trust her. So this outweighs. The media party was trying to protect her, but they cannot do so now. So the average American, and we haven't seen polls yet, sees Hillary undergoing what I call water torture. Every day there's another drip coming out. Now, there is concern about her health, and I think she's much more ill than people realize. But this is more important because her alleged illness is the focus of the right-wing media, like Fox, but not the mainstream media. This is big, and what she's going to do for the next, it's still almost 3 months to go, Brian. What she's going to have to do now is to try to tough it out, as in hockey, play for time. She's a little bit ahead, but it's going to take a long time. I've seen a good piece today in Politico saying that she's going to try to find a way to tough it out to assume she can keep her lead in the polls. I don't think she can do that. This is a protracted process, and the big shock is that a judge has ordered the State Department and everyone else involved to disclose the content of 15,000 emails sooner rather than later. The Obama administration was trying to delay making these emails public, and a lot of journalists are going to have to spend a lot of time reading 15,000 more emails. We didn't know these existed until recently.
We've already seen in some emails that have been released this claim by critics of Clinton that she was doing pay for play. And this is one of Donald Trump's main claims now, that she was, you paid to the foundation, you'd get access to State Department. AP examined the visitor log, said, yep, there looks like there's something there. In what limited emails have been released of late, we see that there are emails from people like Doug Band at the Clinton Foundation to Huma Abedin, Clinton's top aide, still with her on the campaign, still her top aide in her presidential election bid, saying, hey, this person would like to meet. It didn't always work out, but there was that access that other people simply didn't have coming from the Clinton Foundation. Again, that wall. If there's more of that in these emails, what does it do to her presidential hopes? Ray, does this resonate with the average American? Does this turn voters off? As you say, they're already not comfortable with her. They don't trust her. But does this turn them off?
All it will do is heighten the legitimate fear of most Americans that she's not a trustworthy, honest person. Now, Trump is a pretty good media manipulator. He repeatedly calls her, every time he mentions her, crooked Hillary, crooked Hillary. And Trump, as you know, repeats everything he says 2 or 3 times every time he appears in public. So this confirms, despite the fact that Trump, who, by the way, seems to be moving into the center now, there's a softer, more, quote, humane, unquote, new, quote, unquote, Donald Trump emerging. Mm-hmm. So Trump's feeling, I guess, and he is much shrewder than people think, is to let her tough it out as this drip, drip, drip process continues in the mainstream media. And don't forget, Brian, the long, hot summer is almost over. Everyone's getting back to work within the next week or two, and the attention of the average American voters will refocus on the election. So this is big stuff. It is important. And I think if I were advising her, I would say, Hillary, come clean now during the summer. Admit it all. Put it behind you. But she's not doing it. She's trying to tough it out. And I think that is a terrible mistake on the part of her and her advisors.
Great talking as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.